In the Light of Shadow. Chapter 1. The Unfamiliar Reflection. It was a cold, rainy night in the city. The streets were empty, and the only sound was the rain hitting the ground. Detective Robert Jones was at the crime scene. He was tall and looked very serious. His coat was wet from the rain. He parked his car near the old, dark house and walked towards it with his flashlight shining ahead. The house was old and dark. The paint was peeling off, and the garden was overgrown with weeds. Robert walked slowly to the door. It creaked as he pushed it open and entered. Inside, the house was quiet and smelled of mildew and dust. He walked to the living room, guided only by his flashlight. There was a body on the floor, covered with a white sheet. Robert stood next to the body. He took a deep breath and pulled the sheet away. Suddenly, he was shocked. Under the sheet was a face, but it was not just any face. It was his face. Robert stepped back. His heart was beating fast.
"How is this possible?"
he thought. He stared at the face, noticing every familiar detail. Same eyes, same nose, even the same scar on the forehead. Robert heard a noise. He turned around quickly. There was nobody there. It was just the wind blowing through broken windows. He looked back at the body. He needed to understand what was happening. But first, he had to report this. He reached for his radio and called for backup. As he waited, thoughts raced through his mind about his wife, his work, and now, this unbelievable scene. At home, Amanda Jones was sitting by the window, watching the rain. She was thinking about Robert. Amanda was pretty and kind, but she was sad. She wanted to be happy, but Robert was always working. They did not spend time together anymore. Amanda thought,
"Maybe it is better to be alone."
She felt lost, wondering if love was enough to keep them together. Jessica Williams, Amanda's friend, sat across from her, sipping her tea. She was smart and beautiful, but she liked Robert too much. She told Amanda,
"Robert does not love you. You should leave him."
But Jessica did not really want to help Amanda. She had her own plan. She wanted Robert for herself. And if that meant steering Amanda toward divorce, so be it. Tonight, everything was starting to change. And for Robert, it was only the beginning of a journey that would unravel the mysteries of time, identity, and love. As Robert waited for backup to arrive, he couldn't shake the eerie feeling of seeing his own face on the corpse. He circled the body, examining it from every angle, trying to find any clue that might explain this impossible situation. His mind raced with questions. Was it a twin brother he never knew, or something more inexplicable? Just then, the sound of sirens pierced the silence, and soon 2 other detectives arrived. They were surprised to see Robert standing there, pale and confused.
"Jones, are you all right?"
asked Detective Miller, a tall man with a concerned look. Robert nodded slowly, unsure how to explain the situation.
"There's something you need to see,"
he said, gesturing towards the body. The other detectives approached, pulling back the sheet. They gasped in unison.
"What the—"
Detective Harris murmured, stepping back. The room filled with a tense silence as they all looked from the body to Robert.
"We need to figure this out,"
Robert declared, trying to regain his composure.
"Check the house for any clues or evidence, anything at all."
As Miller and Harris began searching the house, Robert took out his notebook and started making notes. He recorded every detail of the scene, his hands shaking slightly. The mystery was deepening, and Robert felt a personal connection to this case like never before. Meanwhile, at Amanda's house, the conversation between Amanda and Jessica grew more intense.
You deserve happiness, Amanda.
Jessica insisted, her voice smooth and convincing.
You can't wait forever for Robert to change. He's married to his job, not to you.
Amanda sighed, looking down at her hands.
I know, Jessica, I know, but it's hard. I still love him.
Tears welled up in her eyes as she fought the confusion and sadness swirling inside her. Jessica reached out and touched Amanda's hand gently.
I'm here for you, whatever you decide. But think about your life, your future. You can start fresh, away from all this sadness.
Back at the crime scene, Robert's radio crackled to life.
Jones, we found something.
Harris called from upstairs. Robert hurried to join his colleague, who was standing in a dimly lit bedroom. On the desk, there was an old photograph and a letter. The photograph showed a younger Robert with a woman he didn't recognize. The letter was addressed to him, from a name he didn't know. Robert's heart pounded as he read the letter. It spoke of secrets and warnings, of things that should have been impossible. The letter ended with a chilling line.
Beware the doors of time, for they do not open without consequence.
The pieces were starting to come together, but the picture was far from clear. Robert pocketed the letter and photograph, his mind whirling with the possibilities. What doors were these? And how was his own past intertwined with the mysteries now unfolding? As the rain continued to fall outside, the night grew darker and the case more complex. Robert knew this was just the beginning, and the path ahead was uncertain, but he was determined to uncover the truth, no matter where it led. The story will continue. See you in the next video. Thanks for watching.